Alright, 3 o'clock. 3:33. Alright. So you're not your body. The only thing you have is consciousness. And that consciousness is reflected in the way that you live throughout your avatar. This world that we live in is nothing more than a game. You have something called positive energy and negative energy, and we got that switched up in thinking that that's good and bad. What may be good for you may be bad for others, and that's the law of polarity. So you can't really sit here and say the way that you make it in this world is by being a good person. No, that's not balanced. I can definitely tell you that coming from the hood, coming from I'm from Houston, Texas, and I grew up in like Greenspoint, and I grew up on the east side of Houston. That's not gonna get you nowhere. That'll get you you fuck around and kill yourself if you end up being a good person. You have to do certain things within good intention in order to make it down here. In certain realities, you may have to steal in order to eat. Is that good or bad? It's only good or bad if I'm trying to feed my family, or am I trying to feed my gluttony? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to feed a negative side of myself that is just an over-consuming big bag. You know what I'm saying? You can be that person if you want to, but that's the whole point of it. We get so caught up into the physical material that we end up not really paying attention to the spiritual at all, or we don't take it that serious. We take it as it's some fluff shit. You know what I'm saying? But we will faithfully go to church and believe that Jesus is gonna come save you. And then you end up getting Jesus and God mixed up and thinking that, oh, you're supposed to worship Jesus, and you sitting here worshiping Jesus, and God is over here like, well, you forgot about me. You don't have you don't have a full understanding of the two and what they meant to be. Jesus is nothing more than me coming to you, telling you this information. You know what I'm saying? Telling you higher concepts about shit. It doesn't really necessarily mean that it's true or not. It's supposed to open your mind and shit. That's why you see people now like coming online and spitting information, and some of the information challenges what you grew up to know. That's what it's supposed to do. Everything that I know challenged me and turned me into a different person. I did not look like this. I did not operate like this. The way that I operate in my life, I'm not gonna get into detail. This doesn't matter. What matters is that you have low energy, and within these low energies, you have activities within these low energies. And in high energies, you have activities within these high energies. Within these high energies is the way that you live your life. And within these low energies is the way that you live your life. But you have something called the ego. I'm going to talk about that. See, the ego is something that you have to balance out and work with every day. It's a game. And so within games, every time you hop on that game, it's always something that you need to figure out, right? We always look at it as it's a challenge. And I can say that I'm no longer looking at it as a challenge. What I'm looking at is an opportunity to display my power as God, because that's what I am. That's what you are too. And that's my message, really. I'm just going to say things that's going to resonate with you for you to go think by yourself about the things that I'm saying. And over time, you're going to hear these frequencies or this message everywhere within the veil, meaning within the bullshit that someone may say. It may be some bullshit, but if their intention is good, there's a message that they're also trying to pinpoint. That's what you listen to. You don't look at me and what I look like. Fuck what I look like. I don't care what I look like. It doesn't matter. Because what's inside of me is much more greater. It's much more powerful. We here because we don't know how to control that power. So you ever seen those power movies where the kid doesn't know how to control the power, so it has to live a normal life and it has to suppress its power. But for sometimes it would come and pop up and then fuck shit up and cause havoc. That's what you do. That's what we do. But you look at it as, oh, I'm not shooting fire out my hands and shit on some. Nah, that's some fucking movie shit that Hollywood got you wrapped into to not take your shit serious, to not take your true power serious, which is in your mind. The first law of Tahuti states that the mind is all in the universe is mental, and even in the Bible it says, "Do not conform to the ways of this world, but be renewed by, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Right? I'm not no Christian, but fuck. There's a lot of similarities throughout the information that I've learned that sometimes I have to go to the Bible verses and be like, okay, I understand that. Why the fuck y'all can't understand that shit? It's because y'all are on a low, that's because people are on a lower frequency when you're in religion. You were trapped in socialism. That's what religion is, socialism. You go to church to socialize. And more so, your preacher is like a motivational speaker. So you have to think to yourself. You have to think for yourself. And you have to think, if you've been lying to yourself so much, what must you do to get that lie out? You have to tell yourself something else. So you've been telling yourself that God is outside of you. I'm telling you God is within you, because in your Bible, in the Bible it says God is within, not outside, not in the sky. God is everything. God is in you. So if you are from God, what does that make you? Nobody won't answer that question truthfully because you're scared. You're scared to call yourself God. You're scared to call yourself something that's going to force you to be responsible for yourself and for your actions, versus blaming it on the devil, which is God too as well. Like and unalike are the same. And so God is the devil and the devil is God. Believe it or not, like I said, I ain't here to feed your ego. Your ego is like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Fuck your ego. Fuck my ego too. I ain't shit. Not in a negative sense like most people think, but I ain't smart. I'm a high school dropout. But people will look at my life and they be like, you're a high school dropout, you seem pretty successful for yourself. It's not about that. That's why I knew school, all this shit was programming. What it is. See, one of the things I noticed within my transformation of getting into spirituality is that the lack of understanding of meditation. See, meditation is one of the tools you use to control your powers. You discipline yourself to a state in which you are in no thought, that you disconnect yourself from the physical and you tap into the spiritual. You start to really see you and what's inside of you, because that's the best way. If you was to, you know how like when you turn off a TV, you know what I'm saying, and it goes in. That's exactly what happens when you close your eyes. It's just like turning off the TV. So you turn off the TV, you turn off this world, you turn off this matrix. That's how you turn the matrix off. I just gave you a key. You turn off the matrix by meditation and sitting with your thoughts, sitting with your emotions, and breathing and chanting. And these chants, you say, why you chant? Chant is a vibration that in your brain, you have a pineal gland in it. Pineal gland is mostly calcified. The way to break that calcification would be vibration. It's just like hammering, but you can't physically knock your pineal gland, but what you can do is vibrate it. It's like dusting shit off. Have you ever seen a snake shake its tail? That vibration gives off a sound. And the way that we initiate that sound to initiate that vibration is and you can feel that shit throughout your whole body. Then what you want to do while you meditate is start to visualize. The visualization is nothing more just imagination. Just imagine shit, basically. To take out visualization, because visualization seems like a hard word for some people to grasp. So to make things simple, it's best that you imagine shit in your mind. You like, you know how you always say, man, imagine if this, do that. Imagine if you was rich. What would you do? What would your life look like? And you just focus on that, and your mind is gonna create inspiration and give you the steps you need. And it's best that you use your mind or your daily life when you come back to it to try and gain more inspiration, gain more insight on what this world is, how it operates, how the banking system operates, how money works, how credit works. Because if you ain't got no credit, you gonna be a slave for the rest of your life. You ain't gonna never be able to start shit. If you don't have credit, you know how to operate it. You don't know how to go take care of certain things to get things started. Finding information, being a good informationalist, a researcher is gonna be best for you. Because we're in the information age, you can find out anything that you want. Anything that I need, I find out. You know what I'm saying? Got the best Mac. You know what I'm saying? I'm an editor. And I cook that shit up. That's a skill. Use that skill, turn it into a business. Take that money that I make, invest it into crypto, stocks, and try my best to not be so much of a consumption person. You don't need no Louis V. You don't need no diamond rings. You don't need no Bottega. All that shit gonna come. But even in that though, if I told you you're gonna get all that shit, then what's left? Just telling my girl who was having a conversation today. It was like, well, okay, if we had everything, cars, clothes, house, all right, then what's next? You most likely just sit at the house and just eat. all day, consume. And that's what most people do when they get rich. They just consume. So either you can consume or you can be a creator, which is God. So you choose, be a human or be God.